Sometimes we get so involved in balancing the past and the future, we rarely give much thought to living our now. People often ask what makes buildings so unique, or an architect's thoughts so clear. Life often involves facts and myths. Sometimes things seem easy, sometimes they are difficult to deal with. One can narrow down life into absolute perspectives. More importantly, the concept of dreams and love. I myself believe in two things: the biggest lie and the only truth.
Someone once told me some sad endings lead to beautiful new beginnings. I never knew buildings can hold so much importance until I came across his story. His love for buildings was mesmerizing. It was like reading a poet talk about his lover. He used to tell me about the beauty, the love, the warmth, the emotion a mere structure of concrete, steel, or glass can possess. After his death, it was difficult to cope up with the emotional burden. I always wanted to do something for him, for his love for buildings, for his devotion to make people realize the true essence and importance of every building ever made. It took me mere seconds for his dream to turn into mine. The dream to create something that creates feeling of affection or admiration, creativity or calmness just by a glance at her.
But like every story, there was a plot twist. With success and glory came deconstruction and conspiracy.
For where I am, I owe my will and hard work to my teacher, my mentor. She was my biggest support during my college. She taught me the meaning of loving your dreams, having sympathy and management in what we do. There was a time I believed that the party that wins decides what happens to a building. But that's not true. Believe me, I'll tell you how. In my thesis year, I came across the first side of the coin. My mentor had a project to construct a building at a site where a residential colony resided, a huge mansion that housed theatre and home to many families. Issued by the government that the standing building was fragile and under huge structural danger, the residents disagreed to move out. The report said it would be dangerous, illogical, and economically unviable to attempt structural repairs in the given building condition. One of them was a friend of her. After persuading and convincing him that staying there was a huge mistake, she was blamed to be greedy as an architect. She was left with no choice but to choose between her project or her friend's will. It took days to examine the building, but the structural disbalance led to a chaos. The balcony fell. It was a disaster, led to major injuries to lives of three which involved her friend. She lost him. The building was declared weak and ordered to deconstruct. It haunted her for days.
They saw the building through the eyes of those who lived in it. In spite of everything, these people were proud and very happy to live there, no matter its condition. Some of them lived there for generations. These people were the houses. The houses opened up possibilities for them, for their children. People had such a mixed response to the building's heritage. For some, it didn't matter at all. For others, it was their life. In the end, it didn't make a difference to the status or the status of the building.
I came across the other side of the coin while practicing under a senior architect. We were given the project to restore the forgotten history of the fort. It reminded me somewhat of the love of his life. Because of the roughly resemblance and chained under the process of reversing the ravages of time and vandalism. Our team of architects, my senior and colleagues, discussed its condition and concluded that due to less structural damage and prevailing beauty, the site can be reconstructed and repaired. The primary objective was not to focus on conserving single buildings, but to restore, revitalize and protect the whole fort complex, to arrest further damage and to plan for full public access. What excites us the most was the architectural splendors that the fort beholds.
Heritage monuments with no human inhabitants are typically easier to maintain and restore, if a government is willing to do so or provided with funds. This structure was a completely new experience then. Restoration of old damaged buildings rather than being demolished was something he never experienced before.
I have had many experiences in my life, but I guess these have been the biggest examples of sympathy and care I've gained for my buildings. I incorporated the learnings in all my structures I create.
This is where comes the only truth. Just like people and situations, we have no control over buildings. Just like conditions and challenges shape a person, the buildings undergo disasters, political and public views, examinations, and challenges to determine its position and strength.
I believe my passion and moral to make people fall in love with what I create may be the reason of my success. I owe it to everyone in my life, every building I've come across, every structure that took my breath away. Maybe that sums up the biggest learning of my life. I prioritize people just as much as I do for buildings. Just as much as my every building teaches me new forms and ideas, so do people who mentor me through the pros and cons. Does this make sense? Was this an appropriate reply to your question? I do not usually speak much about my life and philosophy, but if I have to, it pretty much sums up in a short poem my dad wrote.
I never gave much thought to what I do, but I know I want to create something good and new. I believe buildings personify human, strong core, standing like Truman. Ideas rub against the grace of my brain, remaking and remolding again, plotting the never-ending chapters of ethereal Easter years, creating a world bigger than myself, an epics of truth and fears, endless scribbles, fantasies of creativity and sharpening. Architectural designs are some cosmic happenings, where numerous geometrical shapes border an innovative perception, where movement meets stillness, passion drives the bold strokes to perfection. I live where structures shape and reshape, where a world is molded from paper mache, where these motionless bodies hold the center to my world. An experience of sympathy and calmness is learned. Thank you for joining us for this special interview. Considered as the best of his generation, he has been awarded with the Architect of the Year and bestowed with renowned titles. This was Kabir Thapar, and this was his life story.